4차 산업혁명과 포스트코로나 시대의 교육과 학생의 D.N.A 리터러시를 주제로 종합토론 시작하겠습니다. 이광호 교수님이 저장을 맡아주시겠습니다. 그리고 패널로 5분 모셨습니다. 먼저 해외에서 4분 참석해 주셨습니다.
Educator, Melejipao Seaman and Katy Karel.
참석해 주셨습니다.
Teacher, Laser Flavian Masago.
참석해 주셨습니다.
Senior Education Officer, Adban Javaronico Joe.
참석해 주셨습니다.
Teacher, Nvanankan X Sanyi Cynthia, Leak.
참석해 주셨습니다. 그리고 더 매트릭스 AI 레베이트의 대표가 참석하여 진행하겠습니다.
Good evening, everyone, professors, classmates, participants. My name is Katie Emma. I come from Côte d'Ivoire, and I'm a high school educator since 15 years in my country. So here is a presentation about D.N.A. code D.N.A. in my country. Okay, here, as you can see, my country is a West African country, and recently there was significant progress in data, network, and artificial intelligence. And this report is from Network Readiness. It was done in 2022, and has on the table you can see the strongest indicator in my country: regulation of emerging technologies, government promotion of investment in emerging technology, and the mobile broadband internet traffic within the country. You can see too the weakest indicators like computer software spending and firms with websites. I just want to say that my country successfully contained the COVID-19 pandemic and maintain a positive growth rate in 2020. So about D.N.A. and artificial intelligence, what I know as educator in my country is the project UNESCO SafeIt, mobile learning, and the IFADEM project. This is a short overview of the statement of D.N.A. in my country. You can see the indicator I wrote in red, the strongest indicator and the weakest indicators. So what I know, like as educator, I already said this program project online for ICT skills of teachers and managerial abilities of primary and secondary school principals. And I experienced also online registration, grade assignment in the 5th grade, orientation in the 3rd grade, and the publication of school exam and pedagogical competition results. So for the purpose of this forum, what I found is a smarter data in my country. This modular center is in Abidjan, and it provides data processing service for diverse systems, including interactive and distance learning. The change and the trends in my country concerning COVID-19, I can say about the change, I can say the shift to online learning, the increase of educational technology, the educators and students explore various digital tools to enhance engagement, interactivity, and accessibility nowadays. We have also an exposition of existing inequities in access to technology and internet connectivity, especially for marginalized people. We have also a focus on student-centered learning and the more conversation about the future of education beyond the pandemic. So the reason I think is the continuity of education during the pandemic, the adaptation of to the challenge posed by the social distance measure, and the exploration and implementation of new approach in technology. So you can see on the picture is the students at home. They was watching a broadcast course on television during the pandemic. So for me, ChatGPT has positive and negative aspect. The positive one, could be the revolution of teaching and learning. And it can be also helpful tools to learn and improve upon the knowledge already get by students and teachers. Also, the negative aspect could be the reduction of number of students who are able now to use the brain to think, I mean, about reflection. And that also teachers are concerned about teaching and the wrong information getting through ChatGPT. So for me, the main problem could be to ask why ChatGPT has been so famous. Because in a few days, ChatGPT gained 1 million users, more than Facebook, Instagram, and others. But for me, there is some problem in education, like competitivity, school selectivity, the trend to look for facility and avoid difficulty, and the fear to say, I don't know. Because if you say you don't know, you can be despised or rejected by others. So this can be the motivation to use ChatGPT, but in the wrong way. So in my opinion, to end my purpose, in my opinion, we cannot have some influence on evolution of ICT, IA, or SWE. Rather, we can control education, and the fundamental change we can make in education could be the programs about thinking, self-confidence, self-control, human interaction. And I was so happy to follow the different conference. I learned many things about nowadays ePBL learning. And in my country, I think we have D.N.A, but PBL is not really implemented in school, in education, because our system is highly centralized. So the curriculum, every decision comes from the government, the central government, and we are just actors to apply what is said before above. So that is the state of my country, and I learned a lot from the conference, and I want to say thank you.
My name is Flavian Liza Masago, and I come from Tanzania. I am a teacher from a middle school teachers. I would like to share some experience in the context of Tanzania, especially soon after Corona appeared in Tanzania. What happened, we find that technology or IAA is very important nowadays, because soon after the lockdown, we experience that continuance of schools via online get challenged. And nowadays, the country have realized the importance of IAA, especially emphasizing online learning. And we have come to realize that this AI or technology have simplified teaching instruction. Is very important, because when teachers know exactly how to use it, it simplifies teaching instruction. Another things we have learned that during the Corona, teacher cannot make traditional assessment. By that time, it was impersonal examination. But nowadays, because of coronavirus, teachers have to shift it from the only traditional method to come to the online method of maybe doing examination as a project. And also blended learning is become very important nowadays, is very emphasizing. And now the country is thinking to review the curriculum and provide the building capacity training for teachers, so that teachers could be able to utilize the IAA, because it is very important depending on how the society or the country or teachers use it. It should be IAA should complement and support the human educator rather than replacing teachers or replacing the human activities, as Katie said. IAA is not replacing the work of teachers, rather than it simplify and help teacher to use IAA in a simple way whereby student could have problem solving, creative thinking by using a lot of tools in IAA. So for me, however, our country is now having a poor background of ICT in education, because we don't have a lot of infrastructures like other developed country, because Tanzania is among developing country, but no way out. The world is now going to advanced technology. We need to run with technology for the future of our children's and our future advanced education. So that is my input to what I can say in the context of Tanzania. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Veronique Ojo-Ogbanje from Nigeria. So I'm a senior education officer with the Secondary Education Board in my country and a middle school computer studies teacher at the Nigeria-Korea Model School in Abuja, Nigeria. Currently, I'm pursuing a master's degree in global education leadership through the Koika KNUE scholarship. Okay, so in my country, I've heard about the problem-based learning, okay, because it's not a new concept. Every academic year, students are challenged to identify a problem in their community and solve them. An example is a group of 5 students who developed a mobile app for Android phones called the Fake Drug Detector. It's meant to solve the problem of fake pharmaceutical products in Nigeria. And they were able to win a gold medal in the United States of America under the World Technovation Challenge in Silicon Valley. That was in the year 2018. Then another example is a coding club where students use Scratch programming and Arduino robots to create some projects. Children work together to build their cognitive skills, collaboration, and problem-solving skills. So these are some examples of project-based learning or problem-based learning, if you will call it. So generally, our children are being exposed to ICT, coding, and basic robotic skills. Those are in private academics, like the way it's called Hackwon in Korea. We have private academics because in the public schools, they don't have the opportunity to be exposed to coding skills. But for AI, no, we've not started teaching our children AI, just as I saw the other speakers, very interesting, they added AI to their problem-based or project-based learning. No, in my country, it's just the use of programming and, creating of mobile apps, but we've not gotten to the level of integrating AI into problem-based learning. So I was excited to learn about the case study of movie engineering from the first speaker. We saw how storytelling is combined with technology to develop the imagination and problem-solving skills of the students. And then the Martian Earth Return project, I think it will be very interesting to students because they already like to identify with movie characters and they share the experiences through the Survivor press conference. And then the second presenter talked about elementary school SDG program, which was also an important way of incorporating AI for the achievement of SDG goal. And then in the third lesson, we learned about creating cancer diagnosis AI. I also got to learn about Orange 3 and Teachable Machine, which I hope to explore more after this forum. I believe this study is very important as it exposes students to real-life applications of AI. Okay, so in my country and generally, the educational environment, there were some changes due to the post-COVID-19 era, because during the COVID-19 pandemic, remote learning became very, popular because we couldn't meet face-to-face anymore. So video conferencing tools like Zoom, Google Meet, Teams, they became popular. Though the pandemic is almost over, but we can't totally face off remote learning. So the combination of online and offline education through blended learning is still anticipated to be a viable option for the sustainability of post-pandemic education, as we call it the new normal. Okay, so AI revolution, including ChatGPT. Yes, I'm aware of ChatGPT. I've used it several times, and it's a viable tool. What impact will it have on the educational environment? According to UNESCO 2021, in the policy handbook for AI, AI has been prescribed for 4 areas of education, namely education management and delivery. It's believed that AI will improve education management and delivery, learning and assessment, empowering teachers and enhancing teaching, and lifelong learning. I would like to state that AI is still in its infancy, okay? In education, AI in education is still in its infancy. So I believe with time, these potentials will come up. Okay, so what influence do you think the post-COVID-19 era and AI revolution will have on stakeholders and co? The AI revolution has great potential, but will also raise ethical concerns, which I think educators and policymakers should address early enough. In one of the earlier presentations, it was made reference to ethics and career, because AI is believed by some to take over the jobs of people, and then some have ethical considerations about AI. So we have to solve that if we really want to mainstream it into education. Okay, so the direction, I think ICT, yes, please. Want to appreciate Korea, Ministry of Education, KNUA, KOICA, and the Creative Center in KNUA for putting up this forum. And I also appreciate Korea taking the lead in D.N.A, AI education. Just like I said, we don't have it fully in our country. So I would like to suggest if this expertise with time could also be, transferred to our countries, adopted. I think we have the AI readiness, but in terms of infrastructure, teacher training, and we still need some, assistance. So yeah, that's what I would like to say.
Thank you, I will. I said my name is Cynthia, and I am a high school teacher of English language and English expression in my country, Cameroon. I am currently studying for a master's degree in the Graduate School of Korea National University of Education. I am passionate about teachers' professional development in order for them to stay relevant at their job in such a smart-paced world. I have heard about project or curriculum related to D.N.A-based EPDL in my country. And I would like to say that Cameroon is still making baby steps in the field of integrating ICT in education. In this era of the fourth industrial revolution, the demand for convergence between ICT technologies is increasing in the field of education, and this doesn't leave the government of Cameroon indifferent. However, the country is plagued with several educational challenges, and technological-based learning is definitely one of them. The curricula of the different subsystems of education in Cameroon were designed to meet the education needs of the country, and didn't really factor a DNA technology-based learning and learning models. Even though we have other forms of problem-based learning like experiential learning and project-based learning, but DNA or artificial intelligence in itself is really not the case in Cameroon. Very little efforts are being made by the government of Cameroon to foster this recent trend in education. But the focus of the government is first to completely integrate analog and digital technologies into the school systems. However, the African Institute for Mathematical Sciences, AIMS, Cameroon, is working on the big data for development project with courses designed to train people with passion in data science in general and in particular in big data analytics. The project in Cameroon targets teachers and professionals in statistics, information and technology, or any other related data science related topics. This training is limited only to the above mentioned fields and has a limited number of trainees. Let us look at what AIMS is doing in Cameroon. AIMS is working in other countries such as Rwanda and Senegal. And let's look at the objectives and outcomes of big data analytics with Python at AIMS Cameroon. The first is to understand intermediate to advanced concepts of the Python language, that is data structures, functions, classes, and the Python packages ecosystem. The second, perform data science tasks using Python, data ingestion, processing, visualization, web scrubbing. The third, handle large-scale data sets using Apache Spark, big data basic Hadoop's ecosystem, cloud computing platforms, big data processing with Apache. The third is to be familiar with essential machine learning theory. That is the learning problem, types of learning, loss functions, linear models, deep learning, and more. The fifth is to be able to build and evaluate machine learning models using scikit-learn and TensorFlow to build and evaluate models using Python. The last one, appreciate real-world ML, big data use cases, which is in effect object detection in Android devices, analyze large-scale GPS data for human mobility use case. AIMS usually, in my country, works with just a few teachers. I've had colleagues from the ICT department and mathematics department who have been taking courses in this project, but it's impossible for them to actually implement these courses in the classroom because of infrastructural challenges and the fact that even learners themselves are not open or are not conversant with artificial intelligence, big data, and network. Because of the COVID-19, the Cameroon government decided to switch to online learning platforms. The disease struck at a time when Cameroon was making strides in ensuring and achieving quality education through its Vision 2035 plan document in pursuit of development and education. The government of Cameroon's switch was characterized by TV and radio programs. Due to the population in enrollment of learners, the two-shift system after COVID-19 was instituted to reduce the number of students in a class at a time. This affected the learning hours, which used to be 8 hours of lessons to 5 hours in a day. I think that's the major challenge that the educational systems in Cameroon face due to COVID-19 and post-COVID-19. With the resumption of physical schooling, online and distance learning platforms intensify their attempts to curb learning losses. Teachers, on their part, resorted to social media platforms such as WhatsApp and Instagram to continue and catch up with what has been lost so far. Also, the Ministries of Education had learning platforms where teachers delivered online lessons in order to help curb with learning losses after the pandemic. Proposals to prepare for the next pandemic in the case of Cameroon include: Cameroon must insist on two things if it wants to guarantee educational normality in the event of other similar crises. One, integrating distance learning technologies. Two, improving access to essential social educational services. However, others believe that a complete overhaul of Cameroon's educational system plagued by disorganization and educational inequalities has long overdue. I'm aware of the AI revolution, including ChatGPT. And I think that ChatGPT has revolutionized the way we interact with technology. It has made it easy for people to communicate with machines in a more natural, friendly, and efficient way. It has a great potential for the future of education. Some impacts of ChatGPT on the educational field include personalized learning, language learning, assistant educators, instant feedback, accessibility of information, student engagement, and more. Let's not forget some challenges such as its use with other devices and tools to provide a comprehensive and well-rounded learning experience, privacy and security, accuracy, possible bias, implementation costs, and others. And I'd like to mention that I dream of the day where my educational system can rely on ChatGPT or any of the other AI tools to facilitate learning. The next question is the influence of post-COVID-19 era and AI revolution we have on stakeholders such as teachers and students and their roles in schools. Cameroon is here to witness an AI revolution in its post-COVID-19 era. However, the influence of AI on stakeholders could lead to dependency on them by learners and the change in the role and regard of teachers. And for the very last question, in my view, what direction should ICT, SW, or AI education take in the future? I think I would rather like to talk about the direction it shouldn't take, which is my greatest fear in the field of education. This direction is that of replacing teachers with ICT, SW, or AI to transform education. The teacher's role is already threatened with the advent of these technologies. It is true that teachers bring some passion and emotional support in the classroom, but think of learners whose preference will be AI learning support systems. They will choose not to need teachers in their learning process. What then will teachers have to do? I think I've come to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for listening.